Crystal Moonrise, and welcome to yet another episode of, what am I calling this again? Kerie's, okay, no. It's part of the Kerie's Quick Tarot, thing. But this is under the umbrella of the Gig App and Tarot playlist series. Alright. So, thank you for those of you who are tuning in, watching this either live or a replay. So, the title of this video is Case of the, what did I call it? Case of the Itchy Toupee. Alright. And this video is sponsored by my website, legacykeely.com. It is a metaphysical supply shop of sorts. And if you're looking for items to help you feel grounded, chill, high vibe, and relaxed, consider visiting my shop. There may be something there that can assist you along your journey. So, thank you. All right. So, for those of you who are aware, I do some community service, and I use different gig apps in order to find opportunities, in order to run some errands for individuals in the community. Okay. And hi, whoever's tuning in, thank you so much. I've done a couple of videos in this series, so check some of those out. But what I do is I do community service, and I take an opportunity to find a few offers that I might be able to take some of my time in order to accomplish helping run an errand for somebody in the community. Now, why this actually is special to me is because there was a point in time before, gig apps were a thing, where I had an elderly grandmother, okay? And with my elderly grandmother, it would have been a nice service back when she was here to have someone be able to go run some of her errands, okay? Because she was up in age and she was still getting on that public transportation, bus, or walking, or however she was getting around to get her grocery items, to get whatever it was that she needed done. She was very independent, very self-sufficient, and wherever it was possible, where I was able to lend a hand in order to help her, I would do my best to do that. So I look at this type of work as something that's close to my heart, something enjoyable, because it kind of puts me in the space of remembering my grandma. And so when I approach this work, I approach it with that framing of I'm helping somebody, okay? Now, whether or not, there's all types of people that use these apps. Some people are very appreciative, and some people are not. And it's just the way it is, everyone's not the same. And so I approach it with that clarity. All right, so in this particular playlist of videos, I just kind of want to document some of my experiences as someone who's doing this work. And then I also want to tie in some references from the tarot, or the tarot, however it's pronounced, to help, give some further insights from a spiritual perspective as to what it is that may have transpired in said situation. All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about an errand that I ran for someone at a grocery store, and it's called Case of the Itchy Toupee. All right. Again, I want to thank everyone who's joining. Consider giving this video a like if you find it entertaining or inspiring in any way, shape, or form. Thanks for being here. All right, so I get to the store, a store that I've frequented, okay? I've been to this store a bunch of times, running errands for different offers that I have received from time to time, okay? So I get to this particular store and, grab my cart, going through the aisles, finding what it is that's on the person's list of what it is that they want, okay? And so this day, unlike any regular day, okay? But sometimes when I'm doing this work, there's some situations that happen in the environment of the store where it, I recognize that there's people who walk around the store as floor walkers. I think that's what they're called. People who kind of, keep an eye out and make sure that, nobody's doing anything that they shouldn't be doing in their store. And I get that. That's, whatever that is what it is. Okay. So I encounter that from time to time. So in this particular instance, I notice a gentleman. Well, I'll just call him a guy. Sometimes I give people the benefit of the doubt and call them gentlemen when they're not. So I saw this guy, okay, and he, he seemed like he was a shopper in the store as well, looking for some different things, okay? And when you're in a grocery store, you're probably going to run into the same people multiple times while you're in your store session, right? You're probably going to see the same people here and there. All right. So I saw him a few times in different aisles. This is not a large store. So I saw him a few times. And one of the instances where I saw him, it was by a refrigerator. Okay. A refrigerator was like some type of probiotic carbonated beverage of some sort that I was looking for on the person's list, right? Apparently, he must have been looking for something similar for whatever it was that he was looking for, because he was at that section for a while. So I'm over kind of a few feet away from where he's at. And so I kind of need to get where he is to see if the item that I'm looking for is where he's kind of standing in front of. So I'm being patient. I'm like, you know what, let me just, hold out and wait a couple of seconds and just see if he finds what he's looking for, so that I can then go over there and see if I can find what I'm looking for. And I'm going to shuffle as I am saying this. And so he's taking a while, right? And okay, I'm being patient. I'm like, okay, let me maybe go find something else on the list. Come back. He's kind of still there. And then he it's kind of like, I got a feeling of hovering. Okay? Hovering. What is that? What do I mean by that? There's somebody who's just kind of lurking, hovering, just kind of like not going about their business, but just kind of like hanging out where I was at. And so I got that vibe. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why is he just like hanging out over here? Doesn't he have something he needs to be doing for himself? He should just kind of go on his way and do whatever it is he needs to do in the store. And so I'm, digging a little bit deeper into the refrigerated area, trying to find what it is that I'm looking for. And the guy literally comes close to me and he starts to bang on his head. Now, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've seen some real odd stuff. I've experienced some real, odd outbursts from people from time to time during my interactions at the stores. And so I'm thinking to myself, why is he this close to me? And then why is he banging on his head? So let's find out. Because, oh, look at that. Shuffling, this card is at the bottom of the deck. This is the card referencing, I look at it as a shenanigan card, right? This is the devil card. This is energies that are nefarious. This is energies that are not really geared for one's highest good, right? So perhaps he was part of a shenanigan, right? But as I'm standing there, got this lover's card, right? We got the devil card, the lover's card, then go here, and then see this card here, this death card. So let me find that card that was just out a moment ago, because this is maybe painting a story that maybe I am to relay for someone, okay? Because every situation that I have encountered. And I'm looking for the first card that came out so I can pull it out. I didn't pull it out when I saw it, but it was the Devil card. But I look at every situation that I encounter as something that I'm learning from, or maybe a message that I need to relay. Okay, so case of the itchy toupee. So a lot of what I do is I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, maybe he's wearing a toupee, right? Maybe it's itchy because when people are, wearing wigs or pieces or things like that in their hair, sometimes it itches, and so they may tap 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 on their head. But he had a Caesar haircut. Okay, those are the really low haircuts. Melanated individual, Caesar haircut, and he wasn't tapping on his head though. He had his fist to his head like this, and he's like bang 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 while he's right next to me. So to me, that goes into another layer of discovery. To me, now I'm looking at it from a spiritual layer, okay? Because now, at that point, these are all split moments, it's instances, okay? So it's not like he was there for a few minutes banging on his head, no. But it's the fact that the interaction extended as long as it did, and he's right next to me, when he's bang, 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 like intensely bang, bang, banging on his head, okay? So if I want to look at that as from a broader lens, I could look at that as something to do with witchcraft, okay? So for whoever's resonating with this, perhaps there's a situation that's going on in your life where you have to maybe be a bit careful, okay, about paying attention to your surroundings, all right? Because perhaps there's a shenanigan that involves some type of relationship situation that someone wants to see something not so good happen to you, right? Because perhaps they're heartbroken about something, okay? Perhaps it has something to do with finances, okay? So, listen, when I came up with that little title, I'm thinking this is going to be a funny video. And then I'm getting into it now, and I'm like, well, wait a second, this is sounding a little bit serious. And perhaps there's some fighting that's going on that has something to do with whatever this situation might be for whoever is resonating with this, okay? So if you're finding yourself in a situation where you're, doing a lot of fighting with someone, perhaps over some resources, maybe you had some type of a broken heart situation from some type of a love interest, perhaps they might be, perhaps they may be doing something nefarious, okay? Or have that in mind, okay? For whoever it is that might be resonating with this. And listen, let me find that card again, because I put it back in the deck, but I want to put it with the cards that are coming out now. And that was the Devil card, this shenanigan card here, all right? So let me show the cards as they came out, all right? So perhaps this is a warning for someone out there, right? So I'll put this in the order that they came out. All right, I'm pretty sure this is the order that they came out. So some type of a situation where someone perhaps may be involved in, maybe someone's involved in some type of situation that is involving someone else, okay? It may be that someone else might not be you, okay? Now again, I'm just going with the flow here, okay? And perhaps it's a situation that someone is, you know, perhaps maybe wishing some type of outcome towards whoever might be resonating with this message, okay? Perhaps it has to do with some type of heartbreak. There may be a lot of fighting, okay, over some finances, okay? So, because as in retrospect, you know, I'm thinking about the guy who was standing next to me, kind of like really banging his head. And then I think about another instance, not too long from that, where I'm in a grocery store and someone is saying, walking past me and saying the word bash, right? So if someone's walking, that was a whole different situation, bash, than someone else, you know, coming next to me, doing witchcraft, because that's really what it was. Someone's intention, okay, to take their fist to their own head, but right next to me, kind of looking at me, and bang, bang, bang. I'm not going to do it to myself, right? But that's what they did to themselves. They bang, 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 however many times they did to their own head. So, for whoever's resonating with this message, I would venture to say that if you if you might be finding yourself in any type of situation where you know, you are, you know, seeking some type of guidance for yourself, you know, perhaps pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what it is that's going on. Where if you might be in a situation with someone who might have some nefarious, you know, shenanigan dealings with other people, that you look out for yourself, okay? And for me, how I would handle this situation for myself, since, you know, this was me telling the story about the guy who was next to me and bang, 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 and I'm, you know, trying to, you know, look at it from a funny perspective, but now kind of seeing these cards that are coming out is not so comical, right? But what I would say is all the energy that it took for that man to ball up his fist and to bang his own head with the intensity that he did, that if any of that energy was directed towards me, that the energy itself I could use. I'll use that energy. But the intention behind the energy, whatever his nefarious plot for whoever it may be in his experience, that he was doing that angered action towards me about, let's just say that those intentions are returned back to him. Okay? And that can look like whatever it may look like in his experience. Have nothing to do with anything other than protecting my energy. And I would advise anyone who this resonates for to consider protecting your energy. Okay? You can return intentions back to people. You don't have to receive their negative, demonic intentions. You don't have to receive that. You can send it right back to them. Maybe something was wrong with him. Maybe he was ill. Maybe he has a sickness. Perhaps he wasn't all there in his own mind. Right? I would venture to say that. Maybe he needed some help. But whatever the case, to come up that close to somebody, ball up the fist, and to proceed to bang his own head, I'd say that that's a problem. But it ain't my problem. And so intentions returned to him, whoever sent him, because sometimes people do things in order to intimidate, right? That would be this part, right? Perhaps someone may be trying to send a messaging to intimidate. So the question is, do you allow people to intimidate you? I don't. I may look like how I look, and that could translate to however it may translate to whoever it's translating to. But I don't let people intimidate me. Because to me, that's not how Source has provided me the insights of how to operate. Okay? So if that was messaging to me indirectly from someone that they were wishing harm on me, who could that be? Sometimes there's people who we don't even know, right? Sometimes it's people that we don't even know personally. I mean, people that we may have, had interactions with years ago, or whatever, that harbor resentment, that harbor anger, that harbor envy, that harbor jealousy, that harbor all kinds of low vibrational energy that they never allow themselves to work through or resolve within themselves. And sometimes those types of individuals, over the course of their life, could have different interactions that try to still connect with you in some way, shape, or form. So listen, I'm not sure who's going to see this video, but I would say do your best to do what you can within the boundaries of whatever it is that makes sense for you to protect your energy, okay? And to not allow yourself to be intimidated by people. That's what I would say. But everyone, you have the option to do it however you feel inclined. And as I say that, it's 1:11 on the clock, my time, where I'm at. So, that's significant to me. So, when I say be careful, it's not for fear. No. Be careful of how you decide to operate when people try to intimidate you. Okay? If you're someone, you're not doing anything, for me, I was running somebody's errand. That's all I was doing. Running somebody's errand, trying to find the item on their list. And here's some person with some type of illness, mental illness, I'll call it that, who decided to come up towards me and start banging on his head while looking at me. So, in that moment, I just kind of pause, realize, okay, somebody has a problem, let me move away. And sometimes that's all you need to do. Just redirect your energy somewhere else. Sometimes you don't have to entertain them on the front end, but spiritually speaking, and that's what this channel is about. That's what I'm about. The spiritual element of situations that end up happening. Spiritually speaking, you can return that intention right back to them. Okay? And that will look however it will look in their experience as Source sees fit. Right? We don't have to control the outcomes of what happens to people. No. You know, if the person has a mental illness, my hope is that, you know, maybe, you know, whatever it is that caused them to have that is whatever it is that caused them to have that, and that's something they have to work through. Right? It's not my job to try to hope and pray and wish that something comes off somebody. That's not my gig. My gig is to observe the situation and move accordingly and return the energy right. No, not the energy. I'm gonna keep that. Return their intention back to them. That I'm rubber, you're glue. Anything you send to me bounces off to me and sticks to you. Principle. Right? Sometimes it's okay to think back to those little rhymes that helped us get through tough times as kids. Right? And sometimes that's part of the challenge of adulting. Right? Sometimes we forget some of the simple things that helped us get through some tough situations years ago, to help you not be intimidated by other people's demonic behavior. And there's all kinds of people out there. And it's just discovering best ways of how to operate in your day-to-day, and not letting anyone, no matter who they might be, take you off of the path that you're supposed to be walking based on your purpose in this life. So, I might have to change the title, or I might leave it. Case of the itchy toupee. Because, you know, if I want to look at it from a lens of maybe there was just nothing, you know, to whatever he was doing to his head, you know, maybe his head was itching, even though that doesn't make sense because he had a Caesar haircut, you know, and he could have just scratched his head. He wasn't wearing a wig, a toupee. It seemed very intentional and very intense. And so, yeah, sometimes you just have to look at a situation for what it is and call judgment. I'm gonna call judgment on that. I already did then. But sometimes people have to take more responsibility as to how they're showing up in someone else's experience. I think that is the transition that it is that things are moving in. That people have to really take better responsibility of their own actions and how they're showing up. And so for that, I'm so happy and grateful that I realized that, and that I am coming into contact more and more with people who realize that, and who can respect that and appreciate that and move in the direction of a golden rule perspective of operating. Doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you. You know? If he'd done that to the wrong person, that could have caused a real big conflict. And maybe it was intended to cause a conflict. Maybe he was trying to trigger something within me. Maybe it meant something to him taking his fist, banging on his head a few times right in front of me. Maybe that's why I call it potential, witchcraft. Or maybe he was trying to intentionally send a message of getting through my skull. I don't know that man. And that's, so that's when sometimes you just have to flick it off as someone just being someone trying to intimidate. Okay. I'll just say it like that. All right, that's it. So thank you. Hopefully this message is helpful for somebody out there. All right. And yeah. Oh, wow, I wasn't expecting these cards, but I'll do a recap. And then I might pull another one if I'm inspired to see if there's a final thought with this message. The cards that came out were this card here. All right, Devil card. So perhaps there's some type of situation where somebody is, having some lower vibrational interactions. Okay. Excuse me. Dealing with the relationship. Okay. So maybe it's someone who is, having a third party on their relationship, and perhaps that individual or the third party or somebody is wishing ill on somebody, and it's having something to do with a heartbreak. There's a lot of fighting going on in that situation. It has something to do with money. So whoever this resonates with, hopefully this message is helpful for you to return the intention back to whoever it is that is trying to send ill will in your direction. All right. Source, higher self, Holy Spirit, guides, angels of the highest vibration, ancestors who love me. Is there a final thought message for this particular reading and this message? Thank you. Let's see. If not, then there's the bottom of the deck. We've got the Five of Pentacles, and I did say it was about money. So maybe in a situation, somebody's going broke. Maybe somebody just don't know how to handle it. That's going to look like however it looks for whoever that message might be for. But on a brighter note, it's a beautiful day. And I hope whoever's resonating with this, I hope you find a way in order to flip things in your experience to a brighter note, okay? Because just because there's folks out there who have all kinds of situations going on in their life, you don't have to let them intimidate you. You don't have to let them put fear in you. And you certainly don't have to imagine anything that would cause any type of destruction to come in your direction, because that's what they want. We're not about giving people what they want when it's nefarious, right? Absolutely not. So, on that note, I want to say thank you for your time. I appreciate your energetic exchange with this. For those of you who given me the thumbs up, thank you so much. Anybody who left comments, I appreciate it. Thank you. And that is it for now. So visit my website at legacykeyleaf.com, metaphysical supply shop. If you're looking for items to help you feel high vibe, grounded, chill, or relaxed. All right. I'll see you when I see you. Have a great day if you want. All right. Bye.